It's RMSO Bigfoot. We are following up on Bigfoot sightings in the high elevation mountains of Arizona. A long section of mountains starts near Snowbowl, where the tallest mountain peak in the state is situated. Humphreys Peak is over 12,500 feet in elevation. Most of the mountain valleys are situated near 7,000 feet in elevation. There have been several sightings along these mountains all the way into the Mogollon Rim Mountains that extend into New Mexico. We would like to show you the terrain near the Bigfoot sighting locations and go over the report with you. The anonymous witness states, while in Flagstaff, Arizona, my husband, mother-in-law, and I decided to take a chairlift ride. As we drove up Snowbowl Road to reach the Arizona Snowbowl, we saw a large, tall figure walking in long strides through the trees. I would say about 40 yards from the desolate road. As an avid Finding Bigfoot watcher, our sighting was everything we heard and saw on the show. The Squatch had to have been at least 8 to 9 feet tall. It was too far away to make out any features, but the way it walked, the posture, and the dark brown-black color, it was unmistakable. Definitely not a bear or a deer. We saw the creature take 2 long strides through the trees and disappear. A feeling came over us of shock, fear, and amazement. I had goosebumps all over my body. It was roughly 2 p.m., overcast, cloudy, and showers and lightning in the distance. And this happened August 10th of 2014. There was a follow-up investigation by BFRO investigator Chuck Jacobs. This is what he states in the report. I spoke with the reporting party at length by telephone, and the following can be added. The creature was seen from a slowly moving car through a gap in the trees at an estimated distance of 150 feet. Both the front seat passenger side and her mother-in-law rear seat passenger side saw the creature clearly. The reporter's husband was driving and did not see it. The creature was walking at an angle away from the reporter, so only the left side and the back were seen. The sighting lasted approximately 5 seconds. The witness advised that the brief time that they observed the creature, it took 2 long strides with significant arm swing before the car moved beyond the point where they could see it. The arms appeared very long, the shoulders appeared very broad, and no neck was visible. The creature was very large, 8 to 9 feet tall, and was much too big and proportioned wrong to have been a human. Due to the shadows and the brief nature of the sighting, the witness could not give any details as to the hair other than the color, which was described as black or very dark brown. As in many sightings of this type, it was over before the witness fully realized what they were seeing. She reported feeling an instant intense feeling of fear. There was no other traffic, so her husband offered to stop and back up. She said that she was so frightened that she told him, "Just go." There is a long history of occasional Bigfoot activity around Flagstaff and the San Francisco Peaks. The entire Peaks area sees very heavy human recreational use, so it is unlikely that there is a resident Bigfoot population living there. But as we know, some of these individual creatures roam over vast distances and can turn up just about anywhere at any time. The witness was very articulate and well-spoken and appeared very credible. I found no reason to believe that she was being anything but completely open and honest about what she experienced. We came into this area and was surprised to see how squatchy the area was during our expedition. This is our second expedition into the area, but it's the first time that we went to the tallest mountain in Arizona. As we all know, Bigfoot are known as ridge walkers. They like to stay to the high peaks, the high ridges. Why not the highest mountain in Arizona? Pine, Arizona Sasquatch in Mogollon Rim Mountains. A Pine, Arizona woman that wants to remain anonymous writes RMSO. So I saw something big and hairy walking on 2 feet out back from where I live, just east of Pine, Arizona. I don't want any of the attention, but thought y'all might be able to shed some light on what is here. It was about 7 feet tall, bipedal, and was covered with long brownish red hair. I saw it at about 5:30 to 6 a.m. walking a short distance on the Forest Service fence behind the garage where I live. I didn't go out and look for evidence, and I'm kicking myself in the butt. It was just walking along sort of parallel to a game trail. We live between Pine and Milk Ranch Point. RMSO responds, sounds like you may have saw the Mogollon monster, Arizona's Bigfoot. We did a week-long expedition near the Pine area of Arizona because of the reports we received near there. Was this just recently? She responds, about a week ago. RMSO continues, most witnesses around the Mogollon Rim, Coconino, Tonto, and Apache National Forest described the Bigfoot as different, brownish red colors. Were you able to determine the width of the creature or see its face? The Pine, Arizona woman continues. Didn't see its face. It walked parallel to our home. Couldn't tell how broad its shoulders were either, but I was looking out the bathroom window and saw it. Looked away and looked again twice. I couldn't believe my eyes. I have always believed there was something like this in the world, but never experienced a sighting before. Now I look every time I walk past the windows on the side of the house. It wasn't very far from the back of the garage, less than 50 feet, I guess. It walked upright, like a man, only it wasn't quite human. If y'all find out anything, please let me know. I know that there are things out there that we have yet to prove to exist. My other half is Native American and has shared his culture's beliefs and his personally. I'm inclined to believe it was what is referred to as a Bigfoot. RMSO continues. We do know that the area you're in is a Bigfoot sighting hotspot of Arizona. The entire Mogollon Rim are collectively actually found Bigfoot tracks near a spring in the mountains above Pine when we were there the last time. Hope y'all enjoyed this woman's Bigfoot sighting report. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching. Surveyors confronted by Bigfoot posturing with intimidation on the Mogollon Rim. Rick writes RMSO. I'm a land surveyor in Arizona. Had a sighting near the Mogollon Rim close to Strawberry, Arizona in 2012 while setting up panels for a topography flight. Never had Bigfoot on the mind, never imagined they would be in Arizona. It totally messed me up for the better part of a year. Classic PTSD. Nightmares, panic attacks, you name it. Really sucked. Like every other time in my life I've been knocked down, I got up and faced it. I've been back to that area several times hoping to see one of them again. They're there. We saw the same one multiple times. I say we because there was 3 of us on a crew. All 3 of us saw the same thing. The closest point that we saw him was probably about 35 feet as it ran by us. RMSO asks, Hi Rick, we're familiar with the Mogollon Rim. Our team actually camped near Strawberry one year for a long expedition. We received a Bigfoot sighting report from the outskirts of Pine last February. A woman saw the creature move along the fence line at the back of her yard while she was standing at the kitchen window. If you don't mind, could you describe the Bigfoot as best as you recall? Height, estimate the width, color, or face description? How did the sighting start? What happened? How did it end? Rick continues, I'm telling you, that area is hot. I've gone back with one of my coworkers and camped for 2 nights last April. We were hearing some crazy stuff. We were on the south side of the highway, literally a 20-minute walk to the rim. We had driven back to that area to work about 3 times from Tucson that month. Typically, there are survey problems with this type of job. Associates couldn't see one of the panels on the flyover. The elevation was busted. The clients who met us at the Denny's in Payson had bought the property to make it into a Christian retreat or something like that. It has about 50 acres of some pretty rough, nasty terrain that was going to be worked out near the rim. Work was pretty scarce back then, so when I got a call to help, I was pretty happy. You pretty much took whatever you could back in those days, 2012. It was cool for me and the other guys because it was going into its 3rd weekend. Being that it was the 3rd time that we were there, we absolutely needed to finish. It started getting dark, and that's when things got crazy. I'd say about 7:15 p.m., August 19th, there was a discussion amongst us about the best way to get the GPS base and break it down. All this was relevant because we ended up turned around out there as it was getting pretty dark. The guy we picked up in Phoenix to help us was lagging behind, and he kept saying he could hear something behind him. Honestly, I thought he was full of crap and was being paranoid because all he did was complain the last couple hours we hiked. The circus started when we heard and felt steps run by us in the trees that felt very heavy. He yelled that it was a bear. I saw it really quick and thought the same. None of us had ever seen a bear ever in the wild, so assumed, oh crap, it's a bear. Didn't see it good at that point, but it felt close. No more than 5 minutes later, the other guy, Carlos, pointed and told us to look, and there it was about 50 feet away, standing next to a tree, looking right at us. From the little bit of natural you could make out of its size, and that he was covered in hair. He had a mean looking posture, and you could see his body breathing. It didn't look like it was standing straight up, but even then, it was well over 6 feet. Easy. It grunted a couple of times, and just like that, it was gone. No words can describe the absolute crippling fear that comes over you. The three of us just stood there. In that moment, I could see his face reflecting light. He looked kind of shiny, other than two big black eye sockets. I couldn't make out any of the other features. Its hair was definitely black or really dark brown. We eventually started moving the base and picked it up. The entire time we were moving, it moved with us, just out of sight. You could hear it. I couldn't smell anything. At one point, I stopped and looked into the trees for about a minute, and sure as heck, there he was just standing and watching us from about 60 feet. It was like he was trying to hide and be stealthy, but wasn't making an effort to do so. Long story short, it ended when we got back to the truck, and it must have known we were scared because he let out some kind of a yell as if he was telling us to get the hell out of there. Totally insane. Kelly with RMSO responding one night coming out of Hell's Canyon in the Uinta Mountains. We had something following us. It growled at Jenny when she got separated from us. Never showed itself, but we could hear it paralleling us. And then Jenny was really scared because when it growled out at her, she says it sounded like a big, dirty old man. We got across this clearing and we were only about a half a mile from where our vehicle was parked. The sun was going down and it started screaming across the clearing at us. As scary as hell. And my gut feeling right away was it was telling us not to come back. That's the sense I got that it was communicating to us. So I kind of understand how your guys' encounter ended. Really appreciate you reaching out to us. Anyone else with the Bigfoot sighting wants to reach out to us, email us at rmsobigfoot@gmail.com. And please make sure you subscribe, click on that bell button so that you get notifications of the 2 to 3 videos that we post each week of sighting reports, investigations into those sighting report areas, and any Bigfoot evidence that's sent to us. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.